Hey guys, we are live.
What's up?
Willie Business Show. And today, really cool guest one. So if you're just joining on, just type in the comments that you're joining on so we can see where you're from. And if it's the first time that you're joining, just type it in there as well. And then welcome to everyone joining us for the show today. Really I think it's the first time that we've got a guy on that does dropshipping.
And it's quite a...
So really excited to get someone.
And it's quite, it's a very well-known, or not well-known, he's a great internet marketer. So he's literally sold everything online. I mean, what we know about this stuff, he knows this much about that.
Yeah. So really next level guy, really cool guy to have on the business show today. And I think you guys are going to learn a lot. You're going to get a different perspective of how you can start this online journey and how, if you already have an online business or store, how you can pivot to do something else. Really, really cool show today and a really cool guest. I've known this guy for a couple of years now, probably about 10, 12 years.
Wow.
Now he's grown and now his businesses have scaled and stuff is insane. So you guys are going to learn a lot. Keep a pen and paper handy because he's going to share some of the stuff and stuff that he uses so you can write it down. Otherwise, if you're part of our Mastermind group, we'll share all the links in the Mastermind group tomorrow when he sends it through to us. So let's see. So Sonia, Mark, everyone from Mastermind group, Vera,
hello, Celeste.
Cool, guys. So, Willie, I think just before we get started, for anyone new, just quickly give a rundown of what is the business show about and who is Willie and Eugene.
Yes, thanks, Eugene. So thanks again for everyone coming to watch the show. Without you guys, there won't be a show. So thanks a lot. So what's the business show about? The business show is myself and Eugene's give back project. So one thing that we discovered, and that's how EHQ also started, was we met on a project and we got talking about entrepreneurship, and we just discovered our passion for it, and we talked about how lonely this journey can be. And we honestly also think that success can be fast-tracked. So if you model after other guys that's successful. And then the other thing is we firmly believe that going digital, going online is the way to go for the future. So that's kind of where we as a company exist. We help guys to grow and scale online. We've got for the small guys online Mastermind. Maybe Eugene, we can pop up a link to the Mastermind if they want to join us. It's 99 Rand per month, so not really a high-risk investment. But yeah, that's what we are as EHQ. And, the business show is really there for us we don't know everything. We call ourselves students for life. So it's for us to learn from other guys, which we call giants. And yeah, today's giant is really a top-notch online entrepreneur. So yeah, hopefully, guys, if you can walk away today and you can learn one thing, then we have achieved our goal. And then obviously, Eugene, we always joke we work to pay you. So for the guys that's helping us to get the word out there, so for the guys that's helping us to get the word out there, our sponsors, eBus, Radio Time, Value Smart. Thanks, guys. Without you, we can't do that. If you guys want to get involved, just give us a shout out on our website, entrepreneur.coza, and you can send us an email. That's it. entrepreneurhq.coza. That's it. So yeah, Eugene, I think without further ado, maybe if you can introduce today's giant, and I'll ask him to pop up onto the show.
Yeah, so I think I just want to add on to that, Willie, is like you say, this is our give back. Not every entrepreneur can afford to spend 5 or 10 or 20,000 Rand to give someone else that, or to get someone else to build the stores for them or to do their marketing. So this is our way of helping you guys to start your journey. The 2 points of procrastination is you don't know where you're going. And then when you figure out where you're going, you don't know what the first step is to start. And I think through hearing these stories, people learn better from stories. So for us, that was on the business show last week with Robin Banks, he was saying as well how people learn from stories. And by these guys who's industry experts in their own niche, sharing their story will give you some points of clarity of where you can get started. And just hearing how everyone started from a certain point. It's not, we see them now and they're just really successful, and we forget that they also had to start at a point, at some point. And the difference between people who are successful and those that aren't is like that successful started. So at some point they started. So the biggest step you can take towards your journey of growth and success in business and money and all these things is to start. And then
action.
You also mentioned of being part of this group. So we've got our Mastermind group. If you guys do want to join, I'll pop up a link a bit later. It's our private WhatsApp channel where myself and Willie share tips and tricks, and the Giants share some of their information afterwards. And we've got a whole bunch of courses on there that show you how to do everything that we talk about. But the biggest thing is, I think, being surrounded by like-minded people. If you think about it, an entrepreneur is really successful, millionaire or billionaire, would you guys agree that they've got different habits? They've got a different way of doing things. They've got different words. And then very importantly is they surround themselves with different people. Billionaires aren't going to hang out with you if you're broke. For anyone that wants to start a business or that wants to go digital or move their existing business onto a digital platform. It's all things digital, although we coach in different areas. We like the digital space because that's where we think the future is. If you just look at Shopify and Amazon and all those guys,
Facebook, all those guys, it's extremely scalable. That's the only thing. And I think a lot of people make the mistake. They think that an online business is not work. That's not the truth. So, I mean, Amazon is probably one of the largest companies in the world, and they've probably got one of the biggest workforces out there. So it's really not a case of you're now going to build this online business and, have this instant success and everything. It's just really, really scalable. You can reach people across the world. And I think Niel's also going to speak about these things and how you can reach them and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, let me introduce Niel. I think Willie, maybe just pop him a message so that he can join us. So I've known Niel for quite some time. He actually worked for me about 10 years ago. He was one of my employees.
Were you a nice boss?
Let's not asking that.
Okay.
And then he started his first digital store. And since then, just been growing. And we've worked together on a couple of projects since then. He's a close personal friend of mine. We never lost touch. So it was a good breakup. Wasn't a bad breakup. You get the bad breakups where they take all your furniture. This wasn't one of them. So it's a really bizarre.
And steal all your office equipment.
Yeah.
One of them.
You get the breakups where you leave in the morning, when you come back, your car's gone and
or scratched.
The machine gone and all that. So
Niel Viljoen, welcome to the room.
Welcome on the show, Niel. Just pop on your camera there so that the people can see your, I wanted to say beautiful face, but I don't I like integrity, so I don't like lying.
How's it going?
Welcome, Niel.
Hello, thank you.
Cool.
So, before we get started with the questions, I think start us off with your digital journey when you first got into this journey of digital entrepreneurship and online digital marketing and that sort of stuff.
Yes, my journey starts actually many a moon ago. I remember, I think it was December 2014 something. I came across a guy writing a blog, William Walker or something was the guy's name. And it was actually two friends, and they wanted to create a mascot T-shirt for their college. So they create a simple landing page with a mock-up drawn out of a T-shirt, and they actually just sent the link to the entire college just to get it sold. And unbeknownst to them, the thing actually exploded. They had thousands and thousands of orders. And this blog made its way through to me now here in South Africa. And I read about these guys creating these basically digital or drawings of T-shirts, and people are buying this. So these two friends, they actually started a company called Teespring, 2014, 2015. And that's where I got the idea from how what if I just get a little passive income around the side, because I was still working then, and see if I can make some bucks. So I jumped onto teespring.com. I created I had a designer create. I remember it was a Scottish Terrier dog on a t-shirt with little glasses on. And my very first campaign that I launched, because that time I had Facebook groups towards niches of dogs and pit bulls and Scottish Terriers and that stuff. And the very first campaign I launched on Teespring, actually, I sold 68 T-shirts, I think.
Wow!
And I was completely flabbergasted. And it actually was not that good for me then, because my first campaign was a winner, and after that, I actually realized how hard it was to gonna keep up and sustain those sales back in the day. So I was stoked having, I think I made about $800, and that was in 2015 online from my PC. I was completely flabbergasted. I was taken away. And then I decided this is the world I want to be part of, and really spend my time delving into this and making passive proper money. So yeah, 2015 Teespring came there. A lot of companies actually popped up there. The other one was Fabrily. Teespring bought them over and got bigger. Virastyle, Gear Bubble, Redbubble, all these guys are basically the same platform that you upload your designs onto t-shirts or mugs. Back in the day, 2015, there was actually just t-shirts. These days, there are anything from blankets to quilts to leggings, you name it, and they quite expanded a lot. Yeah. So back in the day, you made a few designs, you popped it onto your t-shirts, and you spammed your groups related to your niche with these t-shirts. And I think the time was perfect for everybody, because this was completely something new. And so the sales back in the day in 2015 was booming, and advertising was so cheap. So it was a different time then. It was quite lovely. So yeah, that's where I started with my journey into online with t-shirts.
Right. Tell me, Niel. So you've sold quite a lot of products online. I mean, since 2014. What types of products have you sold online? Which markets do you find the toughest?
Yes, Willie, I've sold everything online that I've tested in so many niches. Like the t-shirts was more a print on demand kind of product, so it was design based. So you found a niche and you designed for your niche and you put it on your t-shirts and you spam the groups on the t-shirts. But since then, I've delved into a lot of niches, and not only print on demand like t-shirts or something, but a lot of physical products. Because back then in 2015, I had a friend in Istanbul. He actually joined me on this journey of selling the t-shirts, and we had a little community, and we were all doing quite good. And he said he started buying products from China and shipping it to the US. So he went on Chinese websites like Banggood or AliExpress, and he bought the products there and just entered the US customer's address. And that's where his entire journey of drop shipping, but very primitive, started. So he would promote a product on his online store, receive the money from his US customer, go to the Chinese site, order the product, and ship it from there. So the entire logistics of it was crazy, especially if you started to scale. So he was telling me about this, and I was, wow, that's quite interesting, because your reach and your broad and the products out there is crazy. So you can pick any niche basically, and you can find a product for them. What was good for me that time, I tried baby products, baby toys. Wooden toys was a good niche, especially because it's not something that can break. So anything like digital or electronics is a bad product to drop ship per se. So something that's robust and easy to move, like the wooden products, was quite good for me. Another good thing is also clothing. The thing is about clothing is there's a massive markup that you can put onto clothing. The thing is that you just need to find a supplier that you can trust, because quality on clothing is the other thing. If you're going to have a product that's cheap, you're going to have a lot of disputes, and something like that can kill your business quite quickly.
Interesting, and it also shows you how simple this process can be, because we think it's this difficult process. I mean, the guy staying in Turkey, buying stuff in China, shipping to the US, and he's sitting behind a laptop.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, it was so primitive, and back then it's exactly what it is. This is exactly what dropshipping is. The only thing that I basically do, or any dropshipper do, is market the product. You never touch it. So there's also a lot of tax exemptions to that, because if the product's never in your hand, you're never actually going to pay tax on those products. You're taxed in a different way to that. So yeah, that was quite interesting back in the day, 2015. So now along the way, because we had about 10 friends started with the t-shirts, and 5 years later, about 5 of them actually based their business for drop shipping. So they actually made the logistics possible, got suppliers in China that they can trust, found warehouses in the US and the UK to simplify the process actually for the entire community. And these are the kind of guys I will actually share with Eugene, so he can share it with you guys if you would like to set up a proper dropshipping store with proper supplies.
Yes.
Because the thing about dropshipping is it's not just hooking up, because there's a lot of what do you call this, extensions that you can set up a Shopify store, and you get these extensions on Google Chrome that you basically, any supplier on AliExpress, there are millions of products on AliExpress, and you can just link to that supplier without ever even talking to the guy. So you can have orders be pushed directly to the supplier in China, this guy that you've never met in your life, and you just trust and hold your thumb that he's going to actually ship the correct product to your. It's not kosher. It's not
so just for everyone that's on the show. So before this, we had a sound check, and Niel was explaining to us how sometimes they ordered stuff and only the boxes arrive at the client side. So I guess getting the right supplier is quite a challenge. What would you say are maybe 3 things that people should look out for when they look to find drop shipping suppliers in China or wherever?
The first thing you do,
I just wanted to mention that everyone else see Willie's face when Niel said, if it doesn't go through your hands, you don't pay tax. No, Willie's an account. He's like,
that's tax free.
No, you still pay tax. You're just exempt from certain taxes. When it comes to suppliers, the mistakes I made in 2016 and 17 is, like I said, you're so anxious to get your store up and running, and these products are here and they are cheap. And you just see the margin, you just see the money. And like I said, most of the guys, I had problems, and they send your product, or they send empty boxes. Now, and PayPal and MasterCard, they all they see is the product is received. So it's very difficult to dispute those stuff. So when looking for suppliers, say on AliExpress, because that's the route most of the guys go when they start out, is contact the guy. If he does not reply in a day or two, he's not gonna be good for business. So communication with these guys are quite important. Down the line, I actually moved completely away from China, and I actually got a guy in Scotland that is my middleman for quality control, and actually distributing from China to the US warehouse or to the UK warehouse. So get somebody you can trust when you're doing products from China.
Okay.
Yes, just on that stuff as well, you can sell everything. I can't give too much detail because it was a confidential session, but I had a meeting with a guy yesterday that's based in the US, where they also import things from AliExpress, and that's how that business started. They sell little metal cups for toddlers. And you think that's a really simple business, nah? $22 million a month in sales that they made last month. Selling cups for toddlers.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Because first of all, the baby niche is a massive market. And second of all, mugs and cups are one of the top selling products in the world. I think second to t-shirts. So t-shirts will be up there, yeah, evergreen niches will sell up. T-shirts are one of the best-selling products in the world, and second to that are mugs. So Bekers and crazy, crazy.
Really, our next e-commerce store, mugs and T-shirts.
Yeah, Eugene and Willie's mugs and T-shirts.
Picture of Eugene on this side and picture of Viljoen on this side.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Our wives and our mom.
It will sell. It will sell.
Cool. Go for it, Eugene.
Okay. Niel, I also wanted to ask you, so this is a really complex setup, and I know, so the setup from a tech perspective is fairly simple, but having the correct partnership and agent and trying to figure the stuff out by yourself is close to impossible. And what you did is you started surrounding yourself with people that know more than what you do. How big of an influence has that been in your business and your online journey?
Oh, Eugene, it made all the difference, hands down. If I hadn't had the community, I would still be struggling back in the day. Like I said, even like communication with the Chinese are so difficult because the cultures are so difficult. So my first thing is I should get somebody that can interpret my stock, basically my stock coming in. I need somebody that can quality check all my products. I need somebody that can do the handling and shipping for me, because when you're drop shipping, you don't want to do all this work. I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, after drop shipping, you can go to white labeling, all that stuff. But then it starts to get a lot of work, because then you're going to hold your product and all that stuff. So community is hands down the most important thing in this. Like I said, get the correct, like people that can do marketing as well, customer support. There's a site that I use, FreeUp, where I get Philippine virtual assistants for a fraction of the cost, and they are quite dedicated to work. So important to get these stuff ready before you actually explode and go big.
Okay.
Because those are the stuff that's gonna keep you back.
Yes, it's crazy to think how many small things you think about starting an online store, and just how many small things there is that you don't think about. So, for example, communication with a different country or different language barrier and quality checking, all these sort of things that you don't think about when you start your online store. You think, oh, it's an online store, the thing's going to run itself and all that. But I think people don't realize the back end of it. And so many people get sold into it because it's a lot of guys sell this dream lifestyle, work from anywhere and make a lot of money for working 2 hours a day, and that's just not the case.
That's the thing I tell a lot of guys especially when I help them setting up Shopify stores. And this is data, that's information that's not online, like with the recent GDPR in Europe. A lot of guys started contacting me, their accounts and their Stripe accounts are being disabled and their stores are being shut down just because of GDPR compliance. So it's such a small thing. So we went through the data of the GDPR and Facebook policies just to realize that on your store, when you say you're in the Shopify store, you've got your add to cart, your cart window, and your checkout window. Now, on your add to cart window, there needs to be a checkbox that say you consent to the terms and conditions. Just that little box made all the difference for so many people starting online stores, because they start the store and they do all their copy and they make the designs, brand awareness, and they get all their legal pages up just to start and running. And a day later, the store is shut down just because they don't comply with GDPR. Small things. And this is information that's not available online. This is something you need to figure out within your community of sellers, online sellers.
Niel, completely off topic. Have you ever been kicked off Facebook?
Yes. multiple times.
I'm still struggling. I'm freaking hell.
We're talking your ads manager, your business managers, all that stuff.
Yeah. I haven't actually tried to share a picture on here, but we started doing a cap. I don't know if we can share it on here. I want to show you. No, it doesn't want to work. Okay, but we did a cap that's going to come on our merchandise store soon. Where's caps lying on that thing? Because we need to sell our caps.
Do you want a supply for caps, embroidery caps?
Yeah, look, there's our.
There we go.
Yeah, we want to do this for our tribe members. So everyone that's joined our mastermind group, we call it our tribe because we're just a collection of cool people. So for our tribe, we want to print caps. So when you join our tribe, so that's on an ongoing journey. But yeah, maybe we need to link up and order the stuff from China and drop ship it to you.
We'll get Niel to sell it for us.
I can get you a supply for the caps, definitely.
Well, there we go. Bill, you mentioned you're using Shopify, and then you just spoke about add to cart and stuff like that. But I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a meeting, and we were talking about different pay gates. How important is it for people that's selling stuff online to make that friction so little as possible? Because Eugene, I think we're experiencing the same thing. We're using PayFast, and for some reason there's friction to get stuff sold online. So maybe what do you use and how important is it?
Willie, we've tested this multiple times, and this is the one thing I tell everybody going on. Get a proper payment processor. Because we are in South Africa and Stripe their leg isn't here yet in a sense. The only option you either have is Stripe Atlas, but they're frowned upon in drop shipping. So you need to make your site very, very, very cool. And like I said, it's more a GDPR compliance kind of thing than it is actually your product. When it comes to processing units, Stripe gives us the power to process people in a one checkout where you say pay fast. I've tried pay fast as well back in the day. When I tried to sell to my US customers, the guy would call me and says, I'm checking out and it's in dollar, but when I come to the checkout page, actually it's in Rand or ZAR. What's this? And I call the guys on PayFast. He says, yeah, no, we can't change the currency on the final page. So it's most of the people won't even know what the ZAR is because Americans, they're quite huge and they're not quite that clued up. So the first thing I did, I think in 2017, I opened a company in Company House in the UK. I think you paid about 20 pounds and you register your company there. I've got a friend in the UK that's running a print-on-demand company, and he let me actually use his address for receiving my cards and all my legal documents. But you can set up a virtual address in the UK as well. So you need to set up a company, a virtual address, and you need to apply for Stripe. This is the only way you're gonna
with us, and then we can share it on the mastermind group. So guys, remind me to share it on the group. If you're not part of our mastermind, put it onto a different site, and then the guys jump off. So having that payment gateway embedded in your site is absolutely critical. So we also
all the difference, yeah.
So I see that the thing is, I see Stripe has actually acquired Paystack. Now, Paystack is a payment gate which we can register in South Africa, and I'm not sure at what stage or point in time they're actually going to allow us to do that. So hopefully, but I mean, Stripe's the way to go, most definitely.
Yeah, Stripe, or the other option you have in South Africa is you get an Absa merchant account. And then you use I think it's Absa International Merchant Account.
Okay.
And then you use authorize.net just to have the plugin into your store. Because the main thing here is actually to keep the people on your store. You don't want them like PayPal and PayFast, PayPal even, but PayPal is so trusted that people like using it. So you want to keep the people on your site and you want to process their payments on site. Where PayFast, it's a conversion killer.
Willie, they're saying that it keeps freezing. It's fine on my side. I don't see any freezing.
Same, yeah.
Maybe just want to refresh the browser and see if it helps, because there's quite a few people that's complaining about the freezing. Would you guys mind just holding on for 1 second and we'll just refresh? It shouldn't kick you out. Willie, maybe let's just refresh our browser and see if it's...
Okay, I'm going to refresh my browser.
Okay, go for it. Niel, I think you can So Willie will jump off and then he'll come back on, and then we can refresh our thing as well.
Hey.
Yeah. Willie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see it.
I'll just check if it's a bit better, guys. Fortunately, in South Africa, we've also got a 100 meg line at my house as well, and so the latency and stuff on it is ridiculous. We set up an AWS server now and connecting to it at a 200 millisecond delay, which is insane. Struggling
Sure.
stuff to pieces. And then, yeah, cool. Really. So Niel, I want to get but into the tech side of things and just find out what is the tech that you're using. Really, do you have something else before we get into the tech side?
No, go for it.
So there's so many different tech solutions out there, especially when it comes to your actual websites and so on. What website do you, or what platform do you run your website? And then what's some of the other tech that you use, software packages that you use to improve your, let's call it, conversion rate of your customers and stuff?
Okay, so for my own personal brand, I don't have a website. I consult for people via word of mouth. But the websites we use for products are definitely Shopify and ClickFunnels. So the way we use Shopify is you go find a product, and it's all about testing to see if this product's actually viable in your niche or your market. And when I find a winning product per se, then I move that product over to ClickFunnels, to a dedicated sales funnel. Because sales funnel, the entire idea of the sales funnel, and you guys know this, is actually to take away the distractions for the people and give them a simple question. Ask them, do you want this or you don't want this? So the only thing they can do is buy the product or they leave. And that's what I do with ClickFunnels after I find a winning product on Shopify. I also use ClickFunnels for my digital products, and this is something for the last year I've been moving quite a lot into. So I've done the POD on Teespring, then I've moved over to Shopify and dropshipping, and now I'm moving over to Shopify, ClickFunnels, and digital products, because even less work, guys, because information, if you sell information, it's there. And you don't have to sit with customer supports and packages and tracking and defective products and all that stuff. So it's even better. So if you got a good product to sell or information to sell, that's definitely the way to go. So ClickFunnels is the one I use. And just to come back to previous to Willie said, the payment processor. So I use Stripe and PayPal. Well, there are quite a few others, like Braintree and stuff, but you need to be more US based or bigger US influence to use those. And on ClickFunnels, so ClickFunnels and Stripe works like bread and butter, very smoothly. Now, in order for the people to use PayPal in the US, you need a plugin. I'm going to give all this stuff, Eugene. What I use is Funnelish. So it's a third-party plugin. I can link into my ClickFunnels account, basically my sales funnel, and offer people an option to buy with credit card and with PayPal, while still keeping them on my page. Okay. So the main tech I use is basically Shopify, ClickFunnels, and a few plugins like Funnelish, and obviously for my mails I use SendGrid and ActiveCampaign.
Okay.
So someone's just asking you about a Pioneer account. Have you used Pioneer for any of your payment gateways?
Yes, I use Pioneer mostly for my stores in. Pioneer you can't use as a payment gateway. Pioneer is more like a digital bank. So I use Pioneer for my business in the US, and I use TransferWise for my business in the UK.
Okay. And
so Pioneer is basically just.
Those are just like bank accounts, right? Which you can open online, and then so you move your money from your Paygate into the Pioneer account and then distribute it from there.
Yes. So you can link Stripe and PayPal directly to Payoneer or to TransferWise.
Okay. Oh,
wow. We're looking at some of our own stuff, and the first thing you said is, "Dude, your copy is wrong." Copy on your landing pages and to get your message across, and how do you do it? Because for the average person, I don't think we know what's the right copy to use. How important is it to get the right copy?
I would say copy is probably one of the most important stuff online. Even if you find communities and guys willing to consult and outsource, you'll find that copy is one of the most expensive jobs to outsource. There are guys online that are asking up to $10,000-$15,000 for a funnel copy. So it's very important. But when it comes to copy, you shouldn't overthink this. All copy or any product should be based to three of the main niches. It's wealth, health, or relationship. So when you're writing your copy, depending on your product, it should always point to one of those three: health, wealth, and relationship. And we've got a little saying, especially in the jewelry market, and it's very relevant to funnels as well. But if they cry, they buy. So it's a emotion based. It's all about emotion and solving a problem. So identify the problem and tell them the solution. All in
very
proper
important. Copy. Very, very important. That's some great advice for the guys that's listening. So
yes.
Yeah. So Niel, are you ready for Black Friday?
The thing about Black Friday is, for the last couple of years, I don't market on Black Friday. I never do market on Black Friday because the ad space is so expensive. And you'll see this time of the year, Billy, you said it before we got on, everybody's trying to get onto the bandwagon and scuttle to get something on Black Friday. But it's not actually about Black Friday. Black Friday is very important if you have an email list. I use my email list very, very on Black Friday. Not even just on Black Friday, a week prior to Black Friday and well through all the way to December. You can say it's Black Month and you can sell your product now. You don't need to wait for Black Friday. Because Black Friday, there's going to be thousands of emails going through inboxes and the chance of somebody missing you is going to be quite big. So yeah, I'm not advertising on Black Friday. I'm only using my email lists for Black Friday.
And do you get a lot of success from your email lists? I think a lot of people says people don't open emails, but that's not what I experienced.
No, I still make probably majority of my money from email lists, 70%. Yeah. So that's where it's important. So when you're collecting your initial lead in the beginning, you need to value that lead. You need to make sure it's a quality warm lead or very specific to your niche where you can provide value to those guys. So pay a premium for that lead up front, and that lead will take care of you for years to come. I actually spoke with a lady end of 2018. I did a lead generation for us. She had an agriculture farm in Ohio or something, and she was selling, I think, a digital product, but she was more interested in leads. That December, I think I collected 11,000 leads for her. And she told me those leads are going to be $1 million over 3 years for her because we paid quite some money, or she paid quite some money for proper leads. And we honed it in. So we know we're going to pay for this lead, but we know this is going to be exactly on our money, exactly where she needs to be, or she needs her customers to be. Yeah. So leads, when you acquire them, is very...
Sorry, go for it, Niel.
No, sorry, Willie, you broke up.
So I said it's important for the guys to speak to you about it so often is the ideal client. Get your ideal client and then provide value for those guys. Yes. And I mean, everyone that's in the marketing space on the show has actually confirmed and said that to us. So for everyone that's listening, extremely important. And personally, I think that's the only way that you're going to succeed online. It's by getting those right.
Yes. So, last question from my side, Niel, is what's been one of your biggest sales?
My biggest sales?
Biggest success stories?
Actually quite this year. The pandemic and stuff has favored me a lot. We had our biggest month, I think, in March, purely digital products. So that's what the beauty of this is. And when people think about, I'll answer your question now, Dean. When people think about digital products, they get overwhelmed. How do I create this? And I think I spoke with you a few months ago when you told me how you and Willie created this course and the amount of time it took it to create this information. And I know this because this is where the hard work comes in. But when this is done, actually, you just sell this information on. So the longevity of that is quite substantial. But we had a great month in March. I think we did $80,000 or $90,000 purely on digital products, and this is due to people being locked inside and consuming information. So my biggest month was about $90,000 in March. And my biggest products was on Shopify. I think it was last year, in the December last year. We were selling car visors. You know the stuff you put in front of your car?
Yes.
Now I've got a guy in the UK that can print completely onto that. Now we got say for instance classic movies like Fargo or The Big Lebowski. Classic scenes where guys were sitting in the car, and we printed those on these big visors that you put sun visors. Yeah, I think my biggest order for one day was $1,500. A guy just bought I think 10 of them or something. So that was quite good. And this is very easy to implement because we set up a single product store, which was this visors, and we honed in on a niche, say the movies. And this specific movies was the director of Fargo and the Coen brothers. So our targeting online was purely for the Coen brother movies and a demography we knew, people who had access to cars or the money to buy cars in certain states. And I think we ran that for 4 weeks, and then we sold the store. We did quite a good chunk of money last December as well. So products, digital products, they all work, and they work quite good, especially when you hone down on your perfect buyer. So it's all about the perfect buyer.
Cool. So I've just got one last question for you, Niel, and then we'll say goodbye to everyone. So maybe 3 tips for everyone that's starting their journey online.
Starting a journey online. Okay, especially this time of the year, don't worry that much about Shopify, unless you can get somebody that can set this all up for you. But learning Shopify and learning the terms of conditions of Shopify and Facebook is going to take you a lot of time. So either get somebody that knows Shopify and how to set up a proper Shopify for you. The other thing, when you want to get online, I would really encourage people to look like companies like Teespring, and the other one that's quite big now is shineon.com. They sell jewelry and they manufacture it in the US. So this is great for the people buying in the US, because people in the US do not like stuff coming from China. So when you dropship, just a hint, when you dropship your product from China to the US and your customer receives the package and there's going to be Mandarin characters, you're going to have a bad time. He's going to call you and he's going to say, what is this? I'm pro-America. What's this China stuff? So look at platforms like Shineon, Teespring, companies that's in the US. I encourage people to do this because it takes all the headache and stuff of setting up a shop and stuff, and it puts you in the position to sell now. So when you've got an idea or a design or a niche or a big Facebook page, I know a lot of guys has quite big Facebook pages and they're not monetizing this. Look at your niche, identify the problem in your niche, and find a product.
Some of the other stuff, because I think it's really cool for the guys that just want to start out their affiliate journey or just want to start out, and everything just seems so daunting that there's other platforms that they can go onto and get the stuff immediately. But otherwise than that, Niel, I just want to say thanks, and I want to say thanks to all our viewers, guys. Without you, we can't have the show. And thanks to all our sponsors. And if you haven't joined our Mastermind group, click on the offer on the side of the group, and then we'll see you in the group. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next business show.
Cool. Cool.
Thanks,
Thank you, Neil, for joining us, and for everyone that's
Thanks,
rocked
Villy.
up at the show. Cool, guys, and good luck for the month, and see you next week.
And
Thanks, V. Thanks, Eugene. Ooh.
thanks, guys.
Cool,
Cheers, guys.
Chat
I'll
later.
sort of
Thanks, man.
the things that Neil will send me tomorrow. I'll share it on the Mastermind groups, guys. So if I don't share it, someone keep me accountable. Cool, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Just other thing, Eugene. I know you guys gonna. There's a lot of information I will still give Eugene that you can add in the Mastermind. A lot of the things that people ask me is about how do I get content that I can sell, and not all of us has 9 months to create something from scratch. So I'm going to give a lot of information for Eugene where you guys can actually go find this content for pennies to the dollar, and I can show you it's quite easy to get quality content out there.
Cool.
Great stuff. Thank you. Thanks,
Great
guys.
stuff. Thanks. Bye.
Partner.
Cool, guys. Enjoy.